I think it's official. The Zach Lavine disrespect is now about to go the other way. Some were saying he was the worst contract in the NBA a year ago. Some were saying he is an unmovable trade asset. Well, this season he has silenced the haters. First off, he's showcasing that he can stay healthy, playing in 39 out of the 44 games, and he's averaging 24 points, 4.5 assists per game, while shooting 51% from the field, 45% from three. At 29 years old, he's having a career year. He looks the best he has ever looked. And get this, I filtered on NBA.com players who are averaging above 22 points, but on top of that, being hella efficient. Over 50% from the field, over 40% from three. And guess what? Only 3 players were left, and they go by the name of Nikola Jokic, Karl Anthony Towns, and Zach Lavine. That is unreal production from him, and he is playing above the money he's making. I mean, Lavine has been efficient from pretty much anywhere on the court with and without the ball in his hands. He's one of the best downhill scorers in the league currently, one of the best transitional players in the league because he's super quick with the basketball, super quick off ball, and then he can rise up above you and finish at the rim. So he's shooting 5.5 field goals attempted in the restricted area. He's finishing 68% of the time. 68 field goal percentage in the restricted area. To put that in perspective, he's not on the level of Giannis, Tatum, Shea. Those dudes are ridiculous, shooting 72% or near that in the restricted area. He's kind of like just below them in the next tier. Jaylen Brown is shooting the same percentage in the restricted region. But still, Lavine is way above average for his position and size. And then in the paint, non-restricted area, 1.2 field goals attempted per game, 41.3%. And then in the mid-range region, 3.2 field goals attempted per game, 40.8%. You can rely on him at the basket, in the mid-range, and of course at the three-point line because he's shooting 45% from three on high volume. And the beauty of Zach Lavine and the reason many teams that need a secondary scoring star should be looking to trade for him is he doesn't need the rock 24/7 to get going. He can play on and off the ball. He only has a 26.3 usage percentage, which is very good for the production he is giving you. Darius Garland has a 26.3 usage percentage. Tyler Hero's got 26. Kyrie Irving, 26. What are those players? They can play both on and off the basketball. He's a perfect second option. Also, I think the Detroit Pistons would be the perfect landing spot for him because let's rewind back to when the Bulls were an up-and-coming team, when they were showing signs of potential. It was pre-injury Lonzo Ball. He was playing very well alongside Lonzo Ball, and I feel like Cade Cunningham is reminiscent of Lonzo Ball, but he's better. And when Zach Lavine and Lonzo were healthy, the Bulls were looking like one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference people quickly forget. I'm telling you, if you pair Cade Cunningham and Zach Lavine next to each other, the Detroit Pistons are going to get well above the play-in before the end of the season. And let me just showcase his versatility right quick. So this season, he is one of the best ISO scorers in the NBA on the ball. 1.13 points per possession. And that is good for 92.7 percentile, one of the best in the league, better than 90+% of the players in isolation. And then this season, he hasn't really been used as a cutter. He's barely cutting. But say you put him next to a Cade Cunningham, you can unlock more of his off-ball ability. And in the 2023 season, as a cutter, he was averaging 1.66 points per possession, 96.7 percentile. So potentially, if a team were to trade for him and they have supreme talent, you can get great ISO play, but then you're getting elite off-ball play as well because he's a great cutter, lob threat, and also, of course, he's knocking down his three-point jumpers. Just an all-around great offensive player. And get this, on step-back jumpers this year, two-point region, step-back jumpers, 48%. He has shot 133 two-point step-back jumpers as well, so that's pretty high volume. And then 3-point step back jumpers, even better. 75 total attempted, 49.3%. And then you go up to the pull-up game. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Pull-up jumpers off the dribble, 42% in the mid-range. And then for three-pointers, 43.1%. That's what you call a shot maker off the dribble. And not only that, but he has been very clutch this season. So 7.8 minutes per fourth quarter. He's averaging 6.3 points per game. That's ranked 22nd in the league for most points per game in the fourth quarter. He's doing it very efficiently as well. 47.8% from the field, along with 48% from three in that fourth quarter. He's a go-to guy in crucial clutch spots offensively. Now, we talked about all of his scoring ability, but not only that, he brings some secondary playmaking to your lineup. So it turns out he's averaging 7.8 potential assists per game. He's also averaging 4.5 assists, which is basically second on the team, 4.7 for Kobe White and Dosunmu. So he's right there, and Josh Giddey leads the team with 6.7 assists. And then assist points created, 11.4 per game, once again, fourth on the team. So not only is he scoring for himself, but he's consistently creating shots for his teammates. Probably one of the most underrated aspects of his game. And then, of course, there's a lot of talk, oh, his stats are empty. He's not a winning player. He can't be a winning player, this, that, and the third. But to me, defensively, if he is in a good ecosystem, the team is competing, the team is good, I think he can be a very solid defender, and some nights a good defender. The thing is, this year, he's one of the only Chicago Bulls to have a positive net rating. Those who get above 15 minutes on Chicago, Lonzo Ball and Zach Lavine are the only ones with a positive net rating. And last year, you could kind of make a case, I guess, that he was a losing player, but he only played in 25 games and had a bad net rating, negative 5.4, but he was really riddled with injuries and he barely played. And then go back 2 seasons ago, another positive net rating, barely, but he is a positive. So this aspect and this narrative that he's not a winning player, I just don't really agree with. I just think he's been with sus talent throughout his career. It's kind of like the Devin Booker situation. Devin Booker was on bad teams and everyone was like, oh, his numbers are inflated because he's on a bad team. And then all of a sudden they get CP3, they get some more players, and they're in the NBA Finals. I think the same could be for Zach Lavine in a better situation where the talent fits together. Like DeMar DeRozan, heck of a talent, but I don't think him and Lavine fit together. So yeah, if you're arguing he's not a winner as a number one, yeah, the sample size shows he's not. But if you're arguing he's a losing player who can't help on a team where he's not the number one, I mean, that's just silliness. Clearly, he would help any team that is trying to compete and needs more help scoring-wise and offensively.